They've been kicked around for a number of years. I know there was a 1979 article in the News Journal talked about the idea. The Sierra Club had been working on it. Lady Tony Pastore, who had been the previous OFW chair, move away. That was part of her job, and that's when I was asked to move forward with it. I was the OFW chair. I put together the team that wrote the report, presentations, talked with experts, took water samples. Sierra Club paid for a bunch of water samples to be tested. When we ran out of money and went to the county council, they voted to pay for the testing as well. We were just broke and we wanted to keep it going. And then the county spent $10,000 to have our report rewritten, format more acceptable DEP at the time. Early OFW petitions sometimes were just handwritten on a piece of paper, but as time went on and the demand for the status grew, agency demanded more and more specific information. 34 of us, Dr. Boardman, writing letters telling you what you did right or what you needed to improve. It was Bryn Newton, the attorney, who got in there and spoke for us a number of times. Engineers, Bob Haviland, retired professional engineer. He'd actually been a rocket scientist. He got through the Environmental Council, successfully petitioned the U.S. EPA to designate our sole source aquifer here in Volusia County. Younger engineer, Robert Bullard. Bob Haviland did an 8-point program for the Halifax River that included getting the Spruce Creek and the Tomoka River as outstanding Florida waters, comprehensive beach program. One of the other things he did, new comprehensive plans that were mandated under the 1985 Growth Management Act. He reviewed every single comprehensive plan in all the cities and as well as the county in Volusia County. And he provided comments to everyone. In terms of Bob Haviland, he also, Bullard and I, compiled on DeBerry Creek, and he also fought the Volusia County's Port Authority marina that was proposed. Bullard is still an active professional engineer. He took part, had a part in the sole source aquifer, outstanding Florida waters, DeBerry Creek, and the Port Authority. We had different people writing different sections. Go through the Federal 208 program addressed a lot of the issues, and this petition was based on the findings and projections from that 208 program. The man in charge of Volusia County Environmental Activities, Barry Appleby, person who, local 208 program, he was also the liaison to the county's environmental board. He was very pro-OFW. Mike Gately and one other biologist would go out in the field with me and we would take water samples. One time we were in Amsula Canal, and where they took a water sample and there was about a 3-foot rattlesnake, and Mike just took a stick and brushed the snake out of the way and went down and took the water samples. Steve Beeman, Joyce Lingenfelter. At the county there was Barry Appleby and Mike Gately. We had on the News Journal we had Don Lindley, Mary McLaughlin, did some great editorial. Volusia County Association for Responsible Development attacked our proposals. They were really beaten back by the editorials. Writers Colin Johnson, who did the hunting and fishing, was a great supporter, as was Karen Kwiatkowski, who was the environmental reporter. Reed Hughes played a huge role. Even though he didn't help write the document, he was very instrumental in assembling experts, getting purchase of the Dora Sleeper project. I think he put up a bunch of his own money, make sure the deal went through on time. Reed was behind a lot of things. If you needed a reporter, a TV reporter at your scene, Reed could make it happen. A really wide coalition for the OFW. We had the bass fishermen, we had hunters, we had the Florida Commercial Fishermen's Organization, and all the environmental groups. The only people who were against us was VCARD, the Volusia County Association for Responsible Development. I think they may have been formed primarily out of concern. They argued that the added protection would make development on and around the waterways too expensive. It proved to be untrue, but that was their argument. The biggest thing is public awareness that they have something of value. That's probably the biggest benefit. Supposedly, no direct discharge can lower the water quality in an OFW. In late spring of 1988, a report came out about the importance of manatee birthing area in the Tomoka River and its tributaries. The Environmental Council endorsed that was working for the city of Ormond Beach at the time. I took that endorsement and that information to our very active environmental advisory board, voted to recommend approval. The city approved a resolution of support. Previously spoken to former Representative Sam Bell, who was a Democrat. He was in favor of the Tomoka River Manatee Sanctuary. He was beat November of '88 by Republican Dick Graham. I went to Mr. Graham, asked him, and he said, well, I don't see that's a partisan issue. He said, I can support that. He went forward. The Democrats were very sore, though, because he had beat their friend Sam Bell. They blocked him, and we had a big letter writing campaign. Children were writing to Senator Dunn and T.K. Weatherall and others, accusing them of being against the manatee. And one even wrote, Senator Dunn said he was the meanest man in the world for hating manatees. So anyway, we finally, with letters to the editor and letters to the legislators, got them to turn around and support it. Dick Graham's HB 775 was passed into law. And so we have the Manatee Sanctuary. Environmental Council now since 1986. Try to do what I can to educate people about the planning process, tell them what their rights are, explain the process. It's not a black box, but you have to explain all the nuts and bolts. Try to distribute material back and forth so we're all informed citizens. Proper seminars when they become, or webinars when they become available, and share that information. One of the things I tried to people in ECBF and the policymakers, various cities and the county, is the process for growth management requiring compact, contiguous development. I try to stress both the ecological, social, fiscal impacts of good development, properly planned, especially traditional neighborhood development, where a downtown has like retail on the first floor and the office floors, and then residential above that. It's much more fiscally responsible than what we're getting, the urban sprawl. So I try to make that message multifamily, vertically integrated mixed use that I mentioned with the retail, office, and residential, or even single family development. Properly planned developments are safer, they retain their value much better, especially in recessions. More fiscally tax dollars you get, the expenditure on various public works, whether they water, sewer, fire, police.